Hello everyone, my name is Vasily RN6LHF and today I'll tell you about WLAN Switch. It's our new device which now in production and it's ready for shipments, it's ready to buy, and today I will tell you about it more. WLAN Switch, we called it like WLAN Switch. This is a small box, small device which gives you possibility to connect it to any bandpass filters, antenna switch and other devices which you can control remote, and you can use any loads which you can connect to this device. Now I will show you small short unpacking, and we'll show you how it works. This is a white box. You know it from the any other our devices like Samsung ZR2 Pro, Samsung ZR2 DX, and this. When you open it, you see anti-static packing and small black box. Here we can see small box of WLAN switch. On the back panel you can see antenna connector for Wi-Fi antenna, WLAN antenna, power supply connector, big connector, 25 pins connector, DB25 female, small hole for reset, and USB connector for update, for firmware updating if need, but now it's finished, it's okay. On the back, on the low panel you can see the shield with the name, company name, made in Russia, and the other information. Next, here in the box you can see spacer with the pack is accessories for WLAN switch. Firstly, it's a WLAN antenna which you can put here, connect to the box and adjust orientation. Also power cable with connector, you can connect it. You can connect and use it with your power supply. And the DB25 connectors and box for it. Okay, now I will show you how it works. I tried ask my programmers to explain me how it works, but they said try to read the manual and all be okay. Okay, I just found power supply to connect, and small test box with LED, and we will see how it works in real practice. Just connect it. If you open the manual on our main web page, Expert Electronics company site, products, accessories, and you'll try to find WLAN switch and open it. You can see the tabs with descriptions, description, characteristics, photo, internal photo, and documentation. If you open characteristics tabs, you can see that a maximum switching current for every switch will be 300 milliamperes. In peaks 500, but I'm not recommend you to do it. Normally 300 milliamperes it's enough for any loads, relays and others, and it's okay. And other characteristics. Documentation. Open user manual. And you can see that WLAN switch has 3 pages. Firstly, we should switch on WLAN switch. You should try to find WLAN network, wireless network, open WLAN network. It calls WLAN. I am already done it. Oh, not. I will do that now. Okay. And if you open the network 192.168.4.1, you will open the main page. Just update the page and you can see the serial number of the WLAN switch. You can see the status connected. If power supply is gone from your WLAN switch, here will be disconnected status. Okay, 12 buttons, message window. You can put here any text message. For example, WLAN switch busy and safe. Okay. And now, if anybody else open your WLAN switch, for example, any other operators from your contest position, he will see and will read the WLAN switch busy information message from you and will not use it. Okay, when you switch on any switch button, you can see indicator points here in the lower part of the window. It's feedback from the device. It means that WLAN switch already switched and sent back the message about that it's okay. But if you press button and not see the message from third, for example, switch, you should think about something wrong. Okay. Other tab in the address /admin, you can see that here is a standard network device settings, especially for WLAN devices, like wireless mode, access point, client mode, wireless SSID, wireless password. You should change it when you will start to use, because anybody else can open it and switch your antenna, for example. Save, reboot, scan wireless buttons. For example, I can press scan wireless button, you can see it. And you can adjust your WLAN switch as access point normally by default, and client mode. For example, when you try use your home network, wireless network, and WLAN switch should connect it to it, and you should set client mode. You should choose network and press save reboot. Read the manual. You can see it. Also you can check the switch, electronic switch, in your commutator. For checking how it works. For example, your first web page will be main admin page. You just made all settings, and you want to try how it works. I will switch off there. You just set checkboxes and set pins. Disable pins, enable pins. Just for checking that it works and all is okay. Okay, we adjusted network settings, and want to go next. Other page /config, the main IP address /config, like here. And you can see the main page with all main settings. It's 12, here's the 12 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, and the titles for every button. For example, first button will be dipole antenna, dipole 8 meters band. Second, dipole 40 meters band. Third, dipole 20 meters band, and just press save. Okay, just I should dipole. Oh, no. Dipole 8 meters, dipole 40 meters, dipole, for example, 20 meters band. Okay. Just press save, and on the main page it will be DP80, DP40 and 20 meters band. But when I press to every button, you can see I can switch on all buttons and other too. But I want to switch it continuously. Okay. I want to use groups. This is a third column, group status. For example, for one group, sorry. Okay, and save it. And now you can see something wrong. I should switch button. Okay, save. And now you can see the first three buttons, first, second, and third buttons. It's in the one group and has a blue marking like this. And now I can switch it. And when I choose 40 meters band antenna, for example, the other buttons switched off automatically. Okay, maybe I have other antenna which has direction. No problem. I'm use for directions. North, for example, north, south, west, east. You You can put the text marks every what you want. Okay, for north it will be fourth switch, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Okay, and put it to the second group and save it. Enable buttons, enable checkbox. Okay. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Okay, saves. Now you can see that we have second group with directions. For example, for fourth directions antenna, and you can switch it. For example, if you have one antenna switch, and you want to use if you want to use switching from different antenna to your direct antenna, you can use one group for all. And you can adjust it like here. And now all your antennas in one group. You can use 80 meters band, 40, 20 meters band, and you can adjust and you can switch your directions. For example, other switch you can use for your other tasks. For example, power supply, PA, PS, no any groups, just save it. PA power supply, just switch it on and use it in work. And other antennas you can adjust and switch. Other switch you can use for other tasks. For example, light in your shack, maybe removed shack. No any groups. And other, for example, TRX1, TRX2, you can switch on different radios. You can, I don't know, any other tasks, any. Okay. And now you can see we put text marks for all buttons, and you can switch it on. Also you can see indicators in the lower part of the controls. It means that switch in work. Just switch on other switch and it work well. You can use one antenna switch, WLAN switch. You can use 2, 3, and you have no any limits. You can use any switch you want, and you can control different antenna switch, different devices. For example, bands of your external PA, removed PA. Also, you can control any loads like lighting, like power supplies from PA radios, and many other tasks. For example, you want to use your warm system in the shack, and you want to open it and switch on before you will visit it, and it will be okay. And now WLAN switch in mass production on the stock, and you can order it from us directly or from your local dealer, and it will be in your shack. It's really comfortable to use remote control, especially if you will use laptop, different laptop or tablet PC. You just put it to the table, the different window, different monitor. You can just control it from the touch screen. It's really comfortable. Okay, I think it's all what I wanted to tell you about WLAN switch. Now we working. You can see that when I switched off power supply, the main status of the device is disconnected, and it means that something wrong with the WLAN switch, and it will be on the all page device status disconnected. When I connect it, it's automatically will be changed, the status will be updated. Okay, now I will tell you something more about our company. It's short news from RN6 LHF Vasily, and we are working the COVID-18, the situation, and we have colleagues who at home, who are at hospital, but we are working. All our developers works and feel fine, and all's okay. Expert is there are 3 software in progress. The programmer working every day and growing up and growing. We're working under new remote control system. It will be really interesting because we will use new server connection, and we will use direct connection, and we'll use server connection from radio, from client to radio. 1 second. We will use cloud connection, and the main thing of the cloud connection, you have a remote device with a dynamic IP address. You have dynamic IP address on your local site, and you cannot make direct connection because radio and your client software doesn't know about how to do that. And we will provide cloud connection. You just visit cloud admin your client page, password, nickname, and you will see your remote device, which will be already in the system, and you can just set it, set use, and your client system will connect it. The main difference between all other cloud connections for remote control, cloud will be used for connection. The traffic will goes directly from radio to client and from client to radio. It's really fast. It's a really interesting feature, and it works well. Now we have our programmer done the Calibri Nano remote connection, with a Raspberry Pi mini PC, and it works well. I think till the Christmas he will finish some main features, and we will try to test it and give you for testing. Also, the 8U for SunZR 2DX radio was finished, and it was under production in the last month, and now it will be on stock next week, and it will be ready for shipments to dealers, to you who already ordered it, and it's already for shipping, as I said. And now, today and yesterday, our firmware programmer finished some small features for interconnection between ATU, 100 ATU to software and radio. In my next videos, I will tell you about ATU. I will show you how it works, how it looks, and see my next streams. If you have any questions, please ask me in the chat, and I'll try to answering and maybe informing you and tell you something new, interesting, what you want to listen from me. And Expertise DR2 software also under progress. We're working on a new firmware for SS2DX for all our devices, with local bug fixes for devices, and small bug fixes for ESDR2 software. Yesterday, as I know, it was published on our website. It was released update 7. You can download it and play with it. It has some new features in the prods menu, especially hang time. It now decreased to 1 millisecond, and now you can adjust your voice signal with TX mic AGC and make it really excellent. You can switch off limiter, which was used before, as I described you in my previous video, and now you can use normal mic AGC for TX, and it will work fine. Next update 8 will be, I think, maybe next week or some later. It has some improvements. Has some improvements in the firmware. Please look at our website, our news, and your page for your devices. For example, one second. For any device, for example, your owner of MB1 radio, just visit products, transceivers, MB1 radio, and software. As you see, today was released update 7. You can download it and try to use what's new or something other. Maybe you have you waited some new features or bug fixes. Just open up update 7 release notes document, release notes update 7, and you can see that release description update 7 transceivers list, receivers list. This is a small update 8 with new firmware for SunZR 2 Pro DX will be released in late November. Overall change fixes issues with incorrect display of the pink noise line. Overall code improvement which leads to better software stability. SunSDR 2DX improved discover device algorithm. MB1 U80 firmware with the improved tuning algorithm. Calibri DDC new firmware 8 with fixes DHCP operation, X control operation, tips for smooth expertise DR2 installation, technical support, and so on. Okay, you can see what's new was in there. Update 7, and you can normally use it for working in air. Thank you very much for your watching. Here was Vasily RN6 LHF. You can send your questions and your ideas to the chat or to the comments under the video. Doc. Yes, okay. Thank you very much for the watching. Bye bye.